Imagine realizing that, without even knowing it, you already have the tools to turn your life into a journey of wealth and success, yet you're overlooking a simple detail that could change everything in just 6 months. Want to know what it is? Let me share a story about men and women riding through a dark night, climbing a steep mountain. Suddenly, a mysterious voice echoed from the sky saying, "Dismount your horses, gather stones, and fill your bags. Then mount again and continue forward. Tomorrow morning, you will feel both happiness and regret." Some obeyed and dismounted, while others chose to continue. Among those who dismounted, some gathered many stones, while others took only a few. They placed the stones in their bags, remounted, and continued the journey. When dawn broke, the prophecy came true. They were happy because, in the sunlight, they realized the stones were actually precious diamonds. But they also felt sadness, wishing they had collected more. By the end of this video, I hope you feel the same joy and lightness from discovering some treasures, along with a slight melancholy knowing you could have absorbed even more. Today, we're here to walk together on a path filled with valuable discoveries. So, how about we make a pact? Let's turn these next few minutes into the best we can. Disconnect from all distractions and dive completely into this video. And to show that you're committed, comment this: "I'm gathering lots of diamonds." When I see that comment, I'll know you're someone who truly dedicates themselves to what they do. And that's what makes all the difference. Now that you've commented, let's move forward. I want to start by sharing a quote that I find essential. Don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do. The main goal of this video is to reignite your hope. This is crucial because when our memories become stronger than our dreams, we start to lose our vitality. When someone begins to live in the past, saying, "I used to be this," or "I used to do that," it's a sign they are drifting away from the present. Renewing your hope is the first step to realizing that new goals and dreams are within your reach. Now, I have a challenge for you, the viewer. I want you to think about the 3 most significant moments in your life so far. From your birth to the present moment, what were the 3 most meaningful and positive experiences you've had? If you had to choose 3 moments to represent your journey here on Earth, what would they be? As theologian Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are here to live this experience with all its nuances, including moments of joy and challenges. It's no coincidence that we are born crying, as if we knew that life would have its ups and downs. This world is not a paradise, and those who expect constant happiness every second of every day are mistaken. Here, we have moments of happiness and others that challenge us. It's part of the journey. In difficult moments, it's important to remember that they don't last forever. Eventually, things get better. And in happy moments, we also know that they are fleeting. Understanding this roller coaster of life is an important step. So, going back to the challenge, think of 3 special moments in your life, from your birth until today. I'll assume you have those moments in mind. One thing is certain, at least 2 of those important moments were unexpected. Maybe the day you formed your family or met your life partner. You didn't wake up thinking, "Today I'll meet someone who will change my life," right? Often, in the most ordinary moments, something extraordinary happens. These magical moments, which we call miracles, often catch us by surprise. For example, imagine you go to the supermarket to buy something trivial, and while waiting in line, you strike up a conversation that leads to an incredible opportunity. Perhaps an idea that transforms your life forever, but that idea only materializes if you keep the hope that things can work out. If you always expect the worst, it might be better not to start at all, because the belief in defeat often becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. As Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Just like a cake needs various ingredients, life also requires different elements to be complete. One of the fundamental ingredients is the ability to communicate and engage in dialogue. But the first ingredient, I would say, is the respect you have for yourself, your self-image, how much you value yourself. No one can give what they do not possess. You cannot offer love to others if you do not love yourself. You cannot offer wisdom if you do not cultivate it within yourself. And you cannot communicate something to others if you do not communicate internally. Therefore, the first step is to develop self-love, self-respect, what we call self-esteem. And here's some good news. Self-esteem and self-image are not concrete things like cement or steel. They are shaped by language and can be transformed over time. No one is destined to remain as they always were. We have the ability to reinvent ourselves, to transcend. And to transcend means to start over, regardless of what happened in the past. Your past was a necessary step to get you to where you are today, and your future is an opportunity to go wherever you want. But if you don't realize this, your future will simply be a repetition of old patterns. What patterns would you like to change in your life? We all have the opportunity to shape a different future. To be a doctor, you study medicine. To be a lawyer, you study law. But to be a parent, there's no specific training. We learn from experience, and sometimes from mistakes. And that's okay. Life is a continuous learning process. The important thing is that, over time, we refine our skills, make fewer mistakes, and become wiser. The second essential ingredient in life is communication. In the past, those who owned land held power. In the industrial age, those with money dominated. But today, the currency is knowledge, and knowledge only has value when it is shared, when it is passed from one mind to another. And this happens through dialogue, through communication. So, for you, young person, watching us, know that communication is crucial for personal and professional success. It is part of our evolution as human beings. We all seek to grow, to improve, to reach new heights, just like someone climbing a mountain in search of the summit. As we move forward in life, perhaps the most important ingredient is dialogue, the ability to express ourselves, to listen, to understand others. I want to share with you a dialogue model that I've developed, something innovative that you probably won't find elsewhere. Think of pearls. If I give you a pearl today, you'll probably keep it in a safe place. If I give you another one next week, you'll do the same. And if I give you a third in 15 days, you'll also keep it safe. But if we meet again in 6 months and I ask where the pearls are, you might not remember where you put them. This happens to all of us. Now imagine if I give you those 3 pearls and a string and suggest that you make a necklace and wear it. When we meet again, you'll know exactly where the pearls are. They'll be with you around your neck. The pearls represent ideas. Many people have good ideas, but never act on them. Or worse, they let those ideas cause problems. Having a good idea is not enough. You need to know how to execute it. That's why we're going to build a dialogue model together. Communication has 3 levels. The first is mouth to ear, the second is mind to mind, and the third is heart to heart. Before moving on, I want to clarify something. Hearing and listening are different. We hear with our ears, but we listen with our minds. Have you ever been in a restaurant and ordered something specific, but they brought you something else? That's an example of communication at the first level, where the message wasn't truly understood. At this level, no one advances. No one achieves great things. To progress in life, more than just hearing is needed. It's essential to understand, interpret, act, and that requires competence. Think of a pilot. If he said, "I'm not a pilot, but I've read a lot about flying," would you feel safe? No, because you know that competence is fundamental, and this applies to all areas of life. Many people who are excellent students end up lost in life because, despite absorbing a lot of knowledge, they didn't develop the competence to apply it. Meanwhile, others, who may not have excelled in school, become successful entrepreneurs because they understood the value of dialogue, of effective communication. Now, let's delve deeper into this idea. I want to start with the first level, mouth to ear. Then we'll move to the second level, mind to mind, and finally, heart to heart. To reach people's hearts, we need to go through their minds. It's easy to like those we already like, but the real challenge is winning over those with whom we don't have an immediate affinity. When someone decides to like another person, that decision is rational. It doesn't touch the heart. To truly reach the heart, it's necessary to understand, to listen, to genuinely connect. Sometimes to connect with someone, we need to start by understanding their difficulties, their context, their motivations. Only then can we establish a genuine dialogue. An example of this is when a father scolds his child, but the words seem to go in one ear and out the other. The father doesn't realize he's been repeating the same thing for years without results and ends up generating rebellion in the child. This is not dialogue, it's a monologue. They say that example pulls more than words convince. The best way to educate a child is not with lectures, but with practical examples. Now, I want to share a story with you. Once, there was a ship loaded with gold that suddenly had its engine break down. Several technicians tried to fix it without success, until they called the engineer who had built the engine. He examined the ship, found the problem, and with a single hammer strike, the engine started working again. When he sent the invoice, the amount was exorbitant. The ship's owner questioned the price, and the engineer replied, "The hammer strike cost $1. Knowing where to strike cost the rest." This story illustrates how valuable knowledge and experience are. It's not enough to have an idea, you need to know how to apply it. And this applies to all aspects of life, including communication. Knowing how to tell stories, using metaphors, is a powerful skill. Great leaders, politicians, teachers all understand the power of a good narrative. Another important point is to use appropriate language. If you're a doctor and start using technical terms that only you understand, your patient may leave the office without understanding anything. This means that communication has failed. It's crucial to speak in a way that the other person understands. This applies to any situation. Use the right language for your audience. If you consider yourself a good salesperson, your sales should reflect that. If they're not, it may be that your approach is wrong. Perhaps your message isn't clear enough, or you're not using the power of stories and metaphors to connect with people. Finally, I want to talk about the importance of looking to the future. We all have a past, but we can't let it dictate our future. If you cling to past hurts, you're limiting your possibilities. Forgiving isn't just an act of kindness, but also of intelligence. Forgiveness releases a weight, allowing us to move forward and build a better future. I want to end with a story that deeply impacted me. Once, a young man was on the beach throwing starfish back into the ocean. Someone approached and said, "You'll never save them all. There are too many here." The young man replied, "For this one, I made a difference." And he continued throwing them back. This video may not help everyone, but if it makes a difference in one person's life, it will have been worth it for me. If this content made a difference for you, leave a comment saying, "It made a difference for me." And remember, every step we take toward a better future is an important step. Now, 2 videos full of wisdom are appearing on your screen. Click on them and continue your journey of knowledge. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.